I'm ready
All right.
to go.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Fabulous. Hey everybody, it's Suzanne, and I'm not even sure what to call this because it's not a meet the maker. I call this meet the helper. So there's all these gems in our communities of people doing amazing things that are making a huge difference in people's lives. And it was really important for me to introduce you to such a place. I'm sitting in the children's room with Kim, and your role is the philanthropy director of the children's room. And I was saying to Kim when I first got here, I have driven by this building probably a couple times a week for many, many years and never quite tuned into what it was. But my dear friend Chrissy, who I'm blessed to know actually both through real estate and through our daughter's riding, is on the board here, right? And
she's our board chair.
She's your board chair,
yep.
And she's an amazing human, and she's so passionate about the children's room. So she's been telling me about it for a few years, and I just again thought it was so important to come and learn about it myself and have a chance to introduce all of you to it, because I was saying even walking up here, I'm here for a different reason, but think about all the families that have walked through this door because they desperately need help. So without further ado, let's get to know Kim and get to know the children's room. So tell us, what is the children's room?
Thank you. Well, first, thank you, Suzanne, for asking us to
Our pleasure.
be here, and big thank you to Chrissy, our board chair, who also is our Boston Marathon coach and is going to be running this year with 10 of our runners raising money for the children's room.
So awesome.
So
impressive.
excited.
She's ran New York or Chicago. She's all over the place. She's so good.
Hundreds of marathons. Yeah.
So impressive.
We're going to sit here and talk.
Yeah. Exactly. We do our thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think everyone comes to the children's room in a different way or reason. I found out I've been here for 15 years. I started as a program volunteer. I live in Arlington and was looking for somewhere to volunteer. And one of my good friends, Lisa, was a program volunteer here, and she would share about her work with the kids, with the families. And her mom died when she was 8, and there wasn't a place like the children's room for Lisa, for her dad, for her brother or sister. The children's room serves families who have had a parent or a child die with living kids or teens ages 3.5 to 18, and we have a variety of services that we offer for our families as well as our larger community. And so I started as a volunteer. We have close to 50 program volunteers who go through a 40-hour training and work with our clinical staff to support our families. And as a volunteer, I found you get so much more out of it than you put in. You meet some amazing people, and then they needed help with fundraising, and I offered to help out in the office, and here now I work full-time as the philanthropy director.
Love how things evolve.
It
like
really,
that.
absolutely.
You couldn't have written the script, but it's like that's how it evolves, and amazing how 15 years comes, right?
It's crazy, absolutely.
That's
but
amazing.
You said the word passionate, I think, earlier when we were talking, and if you talk to our volunteers, our advisory board, our board members, people are here because they're incredibly passionate about supporting families who have had a parent or a child die. And I think we're all here for the same reason.
Yeah, it's so special, and like we were talking briefly before too. I don't know of any other place like this, and I shared with you my personal story, which a lot of our friends and clients also know, where I was that child that lost her sibling, and just right back to school, there was just nothing that existed like this. And we were talking about how with grief, everybody's so different, their own journey's different, and nobody knows what to say. Like, there's never a right or wrong thing to say, but it's just like saying something. So let's maybe talk a little bit more about maybe a few, because we're walking through this space. First of all, what was the word we just said? Because it was hopeful. That was Kim's word.
Yeah, my word is hopeful.
It's comfortable. It's beautiful. Like, there's all this artwork. There's all these quilts, all these things that have been created by the children and the families that you've helped.
Yeah.
So it's not a sterile, scary space like a lot of hospitals and therapist office perhaps. So it's just a very, very special space. So we just had the chance to get a whole tour, and we'll show you some photos of what all those spaces look like. But what really struck me is, you're 3.5 to 18 is a huge range, but you have spaces for everybody. So can you talk to us a little bit about sort of the different spaces and the different, how it varies from teens to, say, 7-year-olds?
Sure. Yeah. So when we were talking, we really look at the child or the teen as the center, that everything we're doing is around supporting that child or teen. So we have direct support services where the kids and teens come to the children's room with their parent or their primary caregiver, and they're in a peer support group with other kids or teens their age. We also take that peer support model and bring it out into the community at schools, at community centers. We're going where the kids are. But in order to support the child or the teen, we also want to support that next layer is the parent or the primary caregiver, whoever that may be. It may be for some kids a grandparent, a foster parent, an aunt or uncle. And so we have programs that are supporting. We have something that's called Parenting While Grieving, which is an education series that we've actually kept virtual after COVID. We found that the access, people have found some of the services more accessible if they're virtual. So all of the children and teen programs are either here in our house in Arlington or in the schools and community centers. But the virtual, we have found that that's really helpful. And so we're open, we serve families from over 80 towns.
Wow.
And there are, I mentioned to Suzanne, there are only 5 places in Massachusetts that do what we do. And we are the largest. And we take that really seriously. And supporting the parents and the caregivers. And then that third layer is professionals. In Massachusetts, in the public school curriculum, there is no education on bereavement for teachers. So if a teacher of a 2nd grade class has a child who comes back to school after a few days and their parent has died, they don't have any education about that. So we also offer professional development, going out to schools, to hospitals, talking, sharing language. We offer trainings and educations. And so it's really important really to help people with the language and offering also to the peers of the kids about how do you welcome someone, how do you talk, and really learning that there's no right or wrong. Some people are very private about their grief, some people are public, some people really want to talk about the person, some people don't. And so really like just allowing that space, and I think that's what the space here, particularly at our house in Arlington, is really warm and it's welcoming. And I was sharing with Suzanne, I have one of our moms who shared with me that she has 2 lives, one inside the children's room and one outside. And she's a really empathetic caregiver, and her daughter died, and she said people just don't know what to say. And so on the outside, she's kind of ends up like she is caring for other people,
Yes.
which seems crazy, but Suzanne's shaking her head and can appreciate that. But here she can be mad, she can be sad, she can be happy, and she can share all those emotions. And we have families who come immediately right after a death. We have families that come years after. They can come whenever they want. They can access one of our services. They can access multiple services. There is no charge, which we take really seriously for our services. We have never charged a family, and we never will. And so we take that really seriously, and we make it very easy and accessible for families to come to us, or for friends or educators to call and get an information referral, ask questions, and get some help from us.
That's amazing. And I mean, the fact that it's, through all your fundraising and everything, that it is able to be this free resource for people. Last couple things, but one thing we're talking about is just how overworked the mental health system is. And if, you want to, you're opening up, you want to go see a therapist or a clinician, and it's like there's a waiting list. And when there's a death and grief, like you can't wait. So I was amazed to hear that. Can you talk a little bit about that? So you have clinicians on staff, and
Yes.
you have like licensed people that are available now to help.
And
somebody.
we have full-time licensed clinicians, psychologists, expressive arts therapists, social workers who are here and ready to help. And we are, all people need to do is either send an email to info@Children's Room or call our main number. Our website is just childrensroom.org, and all of the information is on there. And it can be an immediate family looking for services. It can be a friend. It could be a professional. And really that triggers then a clinician calling back to spend an average of about 45 minutes talking to that person, seeing what's going on, and then offering services that we offer here at the Children's Room. But also overall offering information and referral and giving just some tips and advice and guidance.
Yeah, like next step, and
Exactly.
It's like amazing. So lastly and importantly, how can people support you? So those of us that, this is resonating, and sadly everybody knows somebody that will need your service or has needed your service. I know you do, because Chrissy's involved with like the breakfast and things like that, but is there an easy link to donate, or what's the best way that maybe financially or volunteers, people
Absolutely.
who want to give back?
Yep. No, thank you so much for asking. And yeah, I think that our website is honestly the best place to go. People are invited. We do a tour, which I just gave to Suzanne. And so you can sign up for a tour on our website. It's really not for families who are interested in our services. That's a separate, where they would email and have a phone call back. But really just in 1 hour, come in and learn and educate yourselves and awareness about the work that we do. And so we encourage people to do that. There is another page on our website about volunteering. We're always looking for new volunteers. We offer a 35-hour training twice a year. This is how I started. And I'm here 15 years later, having no idea when I started that training, what the Children's Room would mean.
It's amazing.
And then obviously I'm in the philanthropy director, so I would be remiss in not mentioning the donating. As I said, all of our services are free. We have a $1.7 million budget, which is 99% from philanthropy. 80% of that is through incredible individuals. And so making, whether it's a one-time donation at this time in the fall to our appeal, or making a multi-year. We have many families who make a multi-year support. Sustainable funding is incredibly important. During COVID, because of our sustainable funding model, we knew that we were going to be here for families, and we just picked up, and we kind of joke that as a social services organization, technology maybe is not our strongest suit, but we all learned Zoom just like everyone else, and we had groups and never missed a beat, and we've learned a lot from that work. And now, as I said, we're here in Arlington, we're virtual, we're in schools and communities, and so we offer a wide variety, and the website is really a wonderful resource, and we love it when people reach out, to volunteer, to come on a tour and learn more about us.
Beautiful. Well, we will be sharing all of that, the website and the contact and everything. So thank you for today's tour. Thank you for your time. And most importantly, thank you for the work that you're doing, because it's so important. And I just, I love that it can be here, it can be in the schools. It's just, it's so important. So keep up that amazing, important, life-changing work that you're doing, and we look forward to our community supporting all of you. So
great. Well, thank you so much. And I know in the Bedford area, we have families come from Bedford. We've been in the schools and the surrounding communities, and so we really encourage people to reach out, learn more, make referrals, and really just appreciate Chrissy talking about the Children's Room. She's quite an ambassador, as many of our board and volunteers are, and really nice to have you here today, Suzanne.
Well, thank you. This whole place is a gift. It's just beautiful. So thank you, and any questions, everybody reach out, and we'll definitely be getting more involved. So
great.
Thanks, Kim.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.